and welcome back to another episode of Gage Farming completely on his own, except for his two dogs running around. Where's the other one? Come on. Lucky Mac. There we go. You guys will have known that last night we finished spraying the wheat. Sprayer's sitting here. We're going to power wash it all off so the 28 doesn't completely eat the booms away while it sits over the winter. And then we are also going to power wash these two tanks in front of me. We bought these two 2,500 gallon tanks at an auction, online auction. We went and looked at them first. They seem to be in good shape. They are the blue ones, so they're rated heavier than the white ones that we currently have out back. And so we're gonna add these two to that. We have two 2,500s currently and a 2,200 gallon tank. We're gonna pull that 2,200 gallon tank out of the chain back there and put these two in its place. That'll get us 10,000 gallons of 28 storage, and then that 2,200 gallon tank is going to come around here and be used for in-furrow fertilizer. Our 31818 is going to be stored in that. Sprayer's cleaned and put away. Not winterized. We'll have RV antifreeze next Monday, which is a week from yesterday. Is today Tuesday? I don't know. Started cleaning the tanks. And then took a break, ate lunch, and was scrolling Instagram and found this really nice foaming product for foam cannon. And they were doing a free thing, so I got some of that coming, and we're gonna test it on these tanks when it gets here. So we're gonna hold off on these for now, but I don't know what it is today. I've been screwing around. I had somebody else come and buy straw. I've been messing with the combine, getting that ready to go again, cleaning the cab corn off, stuff like that. But it's like 4 o'clock now and I'm ready to about fall over. I'm so tired. I don't know why, but I'm trying to get it. Probably hit a second wind at like 7 o'clock and then won't be able to go to bed when it's 11. It's just the way it goes. But we might as well get everything fed. So we got these fellas in here. One of them got out yesterday. Don't tell me how, because I couldn't figure it out. And I don't know what he's doing. We've got very little feed left in our feed wagon over here, and corn's a little wet to be grinding and put in there, so I'm just getting from our feed store for the big barn, our mono slope barn. So just walk over here. And right there's our feed storage for the big barn over there that we feed with the skid steer. So we just scoop a couple buckets of feed and carry them back over again. Got the water on for the barn here for the cattle. Check the chickens, make sure they had food and water. They're all set. So once we're done filling the water, we just got to go through the skid steer, sprinkle everybody some corn, including this barn, and then we'll be all set. Chores will be done. For the most part, chores stay the same year-round. In the wintertime, that barn gets a little tricky to keep water in, but for the most part it's not bad. We take the hose off and put it in the heated building for the night and then get it out in the mornings, and that usually works. And then sometimes we have calves on milk that are bottle calves, and then most of the time though our chores are pretty condensed over in that area. That pen only really needs calves in it in the wintertime to keep that water from freezing and breaking. But other than that, that's pretty much it. You guys have no idea how tempting it is for me to go hook that tractor on the auger and set up into this middle bin and try running some corn. But it's just not ready. That bin needs the bin fan put back together. That bin, for the most part, should be ready to go. We had wheat in it, so it might need to be cleaned out. And then that bin, the fan's shot, We have a new one coming, Grain Supply. I ordered one a couple weeks ago, so it should be coming here shortly. And then it also needs the unload fixed up. Because the plan is, the main auger goes up into the middle bin, so we can haul corn in, continuous flow dry in the middle bin, and continuous flow over to this one. And once there's enough in that one, we can be hauling out while we're still running and not have to shut down. Because otherwise, we can dry and continuous flow into that one, but we can't have both augers set up from coming out of this one and into that one at the same time. That is the only bin we can haul out of at the same time as putting corn into this one. Well, I wasn't expecting it, but it rained this morning. I tucked the combine away in the barn as soon as I could. So that means no beans today, or possibly tomorrow, which is what the plan was. I'm gonna gather up some tools though, and we're gonna head over to the grain bins and start working on them. I checked them last night because I went over there and did some string trimming. And the middle bin, our dryer bin, does have wheat in the bottom. Just like needs to be swept up amount of wheat. And then the other bin that we're gonna work on today needs the fan reassembled and the wiring rechecked for it. And then we'll test fire that, make sure that works. And then the other bin, our most south bin, we're going to try and get that auger pulled out of the unload on that one, I think. And see what we can do about that. That's going to be a tricky situation there. I have this splice kit to try and put the unload back on, but we need to figure out the whole auger situation because this auger broke and right at the flange is all broke. So you guys will see that later, but anyway, main thing I've been working on this morning, it's like noon now, and I've been going over the wheat numbers because we have our Conklin soil samples back, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm trying to make the wheat numbers work without going over what the markets are today, and it's just not working. We'll get there. I'm hoping we're halfway contracted on wheat with a really good price, which is the same way we were last year. And I'm hoping we can get a price rally after planting season is over for everybody. But we will see. It's kind of like soybeans. There's just not anywhere for the wheat to go. But we'll see. Planted acres will play a big part in it, I think. And then we'll go from there. So the main thing on today's docket is to get that northernmost bin completely ready for corn. Quite possibly we could put some in it today or tomorrow, but we'll see. Obviously can't plan too far ahead in this industry because you'll be greatly disappointed. But we'll get around there. I'll show you guys what we're working on and get at it. This one is the big project this year. Gotta fix the unload and put a new fan on the back and get the wiring ran to that new fan. But that fan ain't here yet, so hopefully it gets here in time. If not, we're gonna be doing the same thing we did last year and batch drying in here and cooling and then transferring, and then whenever that fan gets here we'll be able to run it in the winter time. And this bin has either a 12 or a 14-inch axial fan on the back here. And we had some motor issues last year, got a new motor, and then we had some wiring come apart and I didn't catch it. And I was trying to figure out if the motor was bad last year, so I had all this tore apart and I kind of just left it. And now we got to put it all back together. Found the bad spot in the wiring, and so now we can hopefully put it back together, and hopefully the motor is still good. We will test it today, hopefully. Alright, we got her all fastened down in there. There was a main difference between this motor and the old motor, and that was the height of the bracket. So on this new one, you have to shim it up with some washers to keep that turbine free. But we're clear here. That shouldn't be messed up. That cover was laying on the ground, and I cannot find the screws for it. So that is really disappointing. I keep hearing really weird noises back here. I'm pretty sure 90% of them are the goats on the other side of that wall, but some of them get really eerie. What we gotta do up front here is, first of all, make sure the breaker's off, which it should be. But we have to disconnect these 3 leads here, hook them back up to these 3 leads, take the ground for this cord off of that ground lug, and put this ground back in. This is the ground for that circuit. So then we can flip the breaker and test fire. Now, typically, you would not want to kick a fan on in a bin with no grain in it. You're at very high risk of blowing the floor up out of the bin and then having a big mess. This bin doesn't have the pressure that a lot of other bins have. I think it's underpowered as far as bin fans go. Plus, there's a power sweep sitting in there on the floor and a little bit of grain in there yet. So we should be safe to kick it on, but actually first we gotta get here. And I need to relabel this breaker panel because all of my pen marks have rubbed off. So we're gonna try and make this out. It's actually easier to read on the phone. That one's gotta be bin 1 fan, and that one's off. So we're good there. The 60 amp is for this box, which this box, what we did, this box is the exact same thing as what is in that little building over there. It's got the whole dryer thing. It's got the readout for the temp. It has all the automation in it. This is the exact same thing. This is the original one. This still has all of the contactors in it. All of the big power runs into this one. The only thing that changes is we have, I'm getting a little confused here. I thought we took all the overloads out, but apparently not. We have these control wires that run from this box down underground and over to the other box. So the other box is doing all the controlling. This is just acting as an enclosure. All the control power comes in here and turns these on, which these 2 are transfer augers, our cross augers up on top. And then this one is our main here. So this is kicking on like once every 15-20 minutes because this runs, you disengage this pin and it shuts the flighting off but runs everything inside the bin. There's 2 cross augers in the bottom, there's a vertical auger and a spreader on top of that. So that all runs off of this circuit. And then we'll have to go through and test all these fuses too, because I guarantee we're gonna have some blown out. We got some new ones sitting there, so it should be all set. All right, everything is put back together there. We're gonna take this cord out and we're gonna put this in our little dryer room over there, which that way when we go to need it, I will forget where I've put it, but chances are it's gonna get lost no matter what I do with it. So tidy this up and then we'll test fire the fan and see what happens. See what blows up, catches on fire, or burns down. All right. We are going to flip the breaker on and hope that we don't die. 7-9-11. By golly, it just started up. Run around there and see if it's going the right direction. Now in the Shivers manual, which is the grain dryer setup, it tells you to set your cooling fan to pull moisture and exhaust out the fan. We've never done that. It just doesn't make sense to us. You're constantly putting hot grain on top, and all that would do is pull that heat and any condensation moisture down through the rest of the grain. We've always ran it the other way, where it sucks air in and pushes air out the top of the bin. Uh-oh, it just died. Are you kidding me? Ah, we got smoke coming out of the motor. Doggone it. I thought we were going to be all good. I don't know why I would have done that. We're going to shut it off, check all our connections again. If we just lost a leg, I think it would be buzzing right now and not smoking. but I think we may have a smoked motor, which sucks. I'm fairly certain we're not going to get anything out of it, but I'm going to try it again. I went through, checked all the connections. Nothing's hot, so that means there's not a loose connection anywhere. This is disappointing. Nothing. I think we've got a toasted motor, folks. So that's as far as we're getting on that one today. I will have to talk to Dad when he calls me, because he's still on vacation, and see what our plan of attack's going to be there. Obviously it's too late to order another bin fan from the company I'm waiting on. Grain Supply is supposed to be sending out a I can't remember if that's a Sioux or a Sioux Cup fan we bought for the other bin. I can call my Shivers dealer. They are a grain bin facility dealer, and see if they have something and how much it would cost there. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be like twice the cost of Grain Supply. I should have been working on this weeks ago. If anybody has a grain setup, you go through it in July, because you don't get stuff overnight. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure, as far as I can tell, that it's the motor that's bad. Alright, so I just shot a measurement. This is a 16-inch fan. I think I gotta get my phone in there and take a picture of that plate so I can see what the motor parameters are, because I don't remember. And then I'm gonna make some calls, see if I can either track down a whole fan or get a motor. So we've got it off. I needed to take it off to see what size bolt I had on this end. Looks like it's a 1/4 inch. I'm trying to think if there's somewhere I can test bench this. Just set it somewhere and put power to it and make sure it's the motor and not something that went bad in the wiring around here. But I don't really know of a good place I can do that at. I'm gonna check around, but nowhere local has it. Grain bin dealer can get one. It'd be about a week and $1,600, which is about twice as much as the bigger fan we have coming for that other bin. So he's looking for a motor now, and we'll see what comes of it. But I don't know why we have so many issues with this fan. This is the third motor in like 5 years we've put in this. Or this is the second motor in like 5 years. This next one will be the third. I was getting excited there for a minute. Heard it fire up, and then the motor died. I don't know anything about these. Alright, we're loaded up. We're going to take this down to the motor repair place that I found and see if they can do anything with it. It's right down near where I took a straw delivery the other day, so it's about 15 minutes. We're going to check them out as well. Just kind of weigh all our options here at this point. See if it is something that's fixable. Maybe it is. Once I describe to them what we did to it, or what we accidentally did to it, they might be, oh yeah, that's simple fix. We can fix that. So, we'll see. Well, we're on our way back from the motor place. He said it would be fixable, but the cost would be about the same as a new motor, plus his workload at the moment. He would not be able to be done in a couple weeks, so we ordered one there. They had one that matched up. It would be in a couple days, and then he's gonna either be the one to drill and tap out the 1/4 inch bolt in the end of the shaft, or he's gonna send it out to a machine shop and have it done, and then we'll come and pick it up. So we'll get home, we can still get that middle bin taken care of, we can still clean out the bin we were working on, get that all swept out and ready. I don't know, it's just one of those things. Should have had this done a while back, but just run out of time. I got the right half of the bin swept over the intermediate sump. We're gonna kick that on for a second, give us some room, and we'll sweep the other side. So we gotta come up in here. And there's some doggos in here. We turn this 30 amp breaker on. Whoa, messed that up. That is there to help prolong the life of that plastic. We have to flip this in and run a full startup procedure, and then we just bump this switch. 1, 2, that should be enough. So come on here, there's probably gonna be very little in the skid steer right now, but we should have a whole bunch of the sump cleared out. We'll see. I don't want to run it too much because these augers are moving and they're pushing grain all around. So we got to open sump again. We'll sweep it up and do it again. Repeat until the rest of it looks like that side. There we go. This side's swept up. Just got to run that pile out. We'll be all set. I'm going to go dump the skid steer real quick though, because there is not enough room in the bucket. Go dump it in the feed pile. Alright, so we can close up the intermediate sump. The primary needs to stay open because we got to grease. There is 2 gearboxes in the middle there, but 3 or 4 grease zerks. We got to grease them up. I think they take cornhead grease, so we'll get all that greased. The bearings for the sweep augers greased, and then this bin should be ready, I think. That's what the inside of a Shivers bin looks like. I've shown it before, but if you're new. Got tapered cross augers so they take an even amount of grain, or so they say. Take the whole layer across the whole floor. It draws to the middle, and it goes up the center. And there's a moisture tester right there on the auger, which is not going to be super reliable because grain's moving against it. It's not stationary. You add a lot of accuracy to a moisture sensor when the grain stops in front of it instead of stays moving. But from there, it either spreads out the top, which is what it does when it pulls a moisture test, or when the moisture is right, it kicks on one of 2 cross augers, whichever one you have designated, and it takes the grain out and dumps it in one of the bins next to it. So in theory, it's a simple setup. There's a lot of moving parts compared to any other grain drying solution out there. I think a lot more inaccessible moving parts when the whole system is in motion. When the day comes that I can continuously flow this thing into either bin, will be an awesome day, which I thought was going to be this year, but with this fan not showing up, it is probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to end up batch drying and cooling and then moving it over to this old bin that we got. But oh well, not much I can do about it, and we're pretty much out of time, I think, to work on that unload when Dad gets back. And as soon as beans are done, and as soon as we got that end bin finished up, I think we'll start running, because the corn's getting dry. It's 18%, and you really don't want it much lower than that when you're harvesting it. You got too much head loss and too much phantom loss. So oh well, but we'll have everything up and going here within the week. So within a week. But I hope you enjoyed. Today was a bit of a struggle, but you got good days, bad days when it comes to working on stuff. And when it comes to grain bins, it seems like most of the time they're bad days, but not much I can do about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Come back next time. We should be running soybeans. Uncle Billy will be back tomorrow, so we'll get that last 25 acres ran and trucked, and then we can focus 100% on corn and drilling rye cover crop.